Okay, cool. We are recording a fish officially. All right, so if we check out our thread for the day, where is it? It's right here. The first thing I want to cover is I want to talk about some quick little file explorer changes and setups that will, bless you, that will greatly improve your success in graphic design, as well as just prep you for a more organizational computer future, to say a lot of words really fast. Basically, all we're going to be doing is adding a little bit more information to each of our files inside of the File Explorer, so it's easier to quickly understand. So, since we're live, Brody, Lucas, Annis, put your phones away, please. Who else? Yenna, I can see yours. Put it away, please. Let's see. All right. In the back where I can't see you, I'm trusting that you're off of them. Thank you very much. I'll go quick today. All right. So, in your File Explorer, we're kind of sticking with the terms, or while we learn vocab. Whenever I'm talking about the File Explorer, I mean this guy. Let me go into my 2023-24 situation right here real quick. Yours probably looks like this, where it doesn't have any extra tools on the top. The first thing I want you guys to do is double click on Home so that these tools stay on top. They stay living up above. It's a really simple thing. That goes into our next chunk with adding these file name extensions. So you can see I have this calendar right here, and it has this .pdf, but I also have these checkboxes next to each of my, next to stuff inside of the File Explorer. That's what we're gonna turn on right now. So like if I go into graphic design, for example, I can see what's a PNG, what's in the Illustrator file. I can see, I think that's the only two things in here right now. Yeah, it's all PNGs. So to set this up, it's really simple. You go to View, this tab in the top that says View, and you're gonna check these two boxes right here. I got this cool new thing that lets me zoom in, okay? Your File Explorer should have those two boxes checked. They're in the View tab, item file names, item file extensions, and that'll unlock a lot more quick access information that you can take advantage of real fast. Okay. And that's all you need to do on your File Explorer. Let's close out my Zoom here. Cannot get this to publish. Oh, that's not right. All right, so we're gonna switch gears now. I want to go over really briefly some of the messaging from earlier this week that this class talked about. On Tuesday, we were talking about the beginnings of the logo process by gaining some inspiration. We didn't get to the sketches. We're gonna do that today. But we remember where we kind of broke down these guiding questions. Let me see, and oh, the Zoom room is not up yet. That's coming out shortly. But we went over these guiding questions about what type of messaging you want to send with your logo project. So now here's your chance to start actually applying the answers to those questions to a sketch. Before we start doing any designing, you got to do a little bit of sketching to get kind of your wiggles out. Get some of your ideas that you know you maybe aren't super sold on, or ideas that you really want to do. By sketching them, you'll kind of get a feel for how it could turn out, and it will make your life a lot easier in the design portion of this assignment. So what I need you guys to do now is get out some type of scratch paper. I have a few things that we could use, but I don't have enough for everybody yet. I do have plenty of pencils though. There are pencils by the back sink if you want to go grab those, because you will need some type of writing utensil for this thing right here. Okay, so I'm gonna get out some mine. Okay. It can be on any scratch paper. It can be on any sticky notes, right? Design happens wherever we are. So whatever's most convenient for you, it's going to make it the easiest. No, but I don't know. No, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to grab, I don't even have the pencil that I need. Okay, if anybody needs pencils, there's plenty over here. You can take them from, you can come in anytime and grab one. It doesn't have to be during graphic design. Yeah. Okay, so what we should, before we do any type of sketching, you guys should be having some type of paper out right now. Before you do any type of sketching, before you do any type of planning like this, you need to be clear on what your message is that you're trying to send. So if I look at the logo guiding questions from the thread on my other monitor here, the biggest thing is, what do I want? And this does not have to be a novel, but I want a logo that clearly communicates my idea or my brand, right? I need you guys to trust this process. I know it seems like a little bit of busy work, but it does really get you in your own head and start understanding what kind of choices you're going to make, which will make your design process a lot easier. Okay, next, what do I want people to think? I'm going to shorten this. People to think when they see my logo. I want them to appreciate it. I want them to, I don't know. What else do I want them to do? Understand it. It's a pretty good one. Enjoy it. These are all pretty general. I also want people to think I'm going to go in a like simple direction, which kind of adds to the understandability of it. So I'm thinking about just kind of jotting these ideas down, not really thinking about it. I want people to think that the logo is simple, because I'm going to let that decision, whether that's complex or advanced or whatever other word you feel you want people to think, that's going to influence some of your decisions in your sketch as well as in your final product. All right, finally, what do I want my logo to say first? First being the most important portion of this question right here. If we think back to earlier this week, where we were looking at a couple different examples of what logos, different styles of logos can communicate, whether that's directly or indirectly, you want to think about, what do you want people to notice first? What do you want people to say about your logo first? I want people, if I'm going in a simple kind of minimalist direction, I want people to think that it's easy to understand. Did I say first? Yeah, say first. Easy to understand. And also, say that whatever I'm designing for is trustworthy. That it's worth their time, right? I guess these are two first. I mean, you can't really have two firsts, but I could go in either of these directions here. And then the final question that I want you guys to be thinking about. This is a hard process because we don't really have, we're kind of working backwards. It's a lot of thinking about things that you can't see yet. So what you can also do is ask these questions of your logo after you do some sketches. These are great little check-in questions that you can perform kind of consistently throughout this design process. And the final question I'm thinking about is, what do I want my logo to communicate? And this is kind of a summary of the questions that you've been asked so far. These big three, they kind of summarize down into the communicate portion. This one I'm going to say, I want my logo to communicate, and this is just my example, simplicity, intention, because I want people to appreciate the work that I've done, and I'm sure you guys do too. Communicate simplicity, intention, and because I'm thinking about a personal logo for Mr. Blakeney, and a part of myself that I want to share. Okay, so all of this is what you'll answer in specific to your logo. If you already have a logo idea in mind after we've looked at some inspirations and kind of thought about how you want to communicate your message, whether that message is you should hire me, whether that message is you should listen to my cause, whether that message is look how cool my shirt is, right? There's a lot of different messages that you could be thinking about here. And now I'm going to switch back to a screen recording real quick. Turn off my camera. All right. So if we do this, if we look at the modules, there's some new stuff for week 3 here that should all be published. It is almost published, but there's an assignment 2.1 right here, which is your custom logo sketches, which are due tomorrow. If you're having a hard time coming up with an idea to even do these guiding questions about, to even do these messaging things about, I have provided, or not I have provided, hi, good morning. ChatGPT has helped me out with a couple different, thank you, a couple different options that you can start with. I can also give you some more examples from here, where it's basically saying these are the ones that are going to be easier to understand, easier to complete, and they're going to increase in complexity from level 1 to level 3. Something like an icon logo or a word mark logo is going to be very simple, kind of the direction that I'm going with this example. You won't lose points for choosing level 1 or level 2 instead of level 3. They're not worth any extra amount of grading, but they are different levels of difficulty, so you can choose which way you want to go with your logo assignment. So if you choose like level 1 word mark, for example, then I can help you with some more ideas about what type of word mark you could create, something a little bit more situational. But all of this is to say, I'm going to switch back to my camera here in just a second. There's a lot of prepping that goes into doing any type of graphic design creating, because it's important to know what you're trying to say before you actually end up saying it. So let me close my screen share. If I look at on Canvas, if I'm looking at the level 1 wordmark logo, and I have this kind of breakdown right here of wanting my logo to communicate simplicity, intention, and a part of myself that I want to share, now I can start thinking about what sorts of words add to this message. Because a word mark is just kind of like, if you think about, I can't think of any right now. Immediately forgot. Like Gucci or YSL, if we're sticking in the luxury brand, Calvin Klein. Those are all just word mark logos. There's not really much to them in the general sense, but their words are communicating some type of message based on some of their choices in this design process. So if I wanted to do something for like my name, this sketching process is going to be different for everybody, but I'll just write out my name and kind of start experimenting with how I can arrange these letters, okay? So I can do all caps. I can change the direction of the letters. If I can spell my own name right. Okay, I could maybe add some extra words in, like a crossword, so I could go Blakeney class, because that, I don't know, I'm a teacher, whatever. It's a lot about not really thinking about what you're doing and just kind of seeing what works. So let's see what else I can do. What else communicates simplicity to me is the next thing that I'm going to think about. So the text itself communicates simplicity. It doesn't have a lot of extra stuff. I don't want to be adding any extra frill that I don't need, because that might mess up the message a little bit. What else can I use to communicate intention? Let's see. Just going to experiment. Let's try doing some block lettering, right? I won't spell out my whole name, but can experiment with this a little bit. Okay, maybe I will spell out my, oh, I can't do the end. So we're going to call it right there. A lot of the sketching process is once you have your messaging to kind of treat as like a North Star, kind of like a guiding line throughout the process, you can start just messing around with different aspects that you want to communicate simplicity with. I want to also look real quick as an example at this part of myself section that I want to share. There's a lot about me that I'm interested in sharing. Like I like being outside. I like doing the PNW like hiking stuff. So the easy way to communicate that is with something like a tree. And you can tell my level of artistry is a lot more digital because we're just kind of spitballing here. tree outside has a lot of different visuals that I can experiment with. I could go kind of P&W with the mountains if I wanted to go that direction. Outside also has activities. It could be like skiing. I don't ski, but that is something that people will do outside. Right. Just imagine there's something going on here, right? A lot of this process, it's interesting and it's different from maybe what you've experienced in the past, because the way that you do it, the way that you approach it is what works best for you. And as far as grading goes, for the actual assignment portion of this, which would be due tomorrow, please share my screen once again. You should be able to see that one. Okay. My camera off? Yes, it is. All right. So if we look, I thought I published this, but apparently I have not. Where was it? Oh, this guy right here. So there are 2 points per logo. I'm looking for 6 different ideas, and you'll get a total of 12 points. They do not have to be perfect. I expect them to be pretty raw, pretty kind of just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what works out for you. But this assignment is worth 12 points because I'm looking for 6 sketches. But before you do the sketches, you got to do the figure out what the message is that you're trying to send before you start doing it. Does this make sense, what I'm asking? Does anybody have any questions? Please ask. There's no such thing as a stupid question. No? Okay. So with the rest of today, I want you guys to sketch out some logos. Remember that they are not going to be perfect. Done is better than perfect every time. And it's going to feel kind of weird because it's going to feel like you're not doing it right, or it's going to feel like maybe something isn't working, or right, some typically negative feelings associated with doing school stuff. Push through that. I'm not grading you on perfection. I'm not grading you on your expertise because it's your 3rd week in graphic design. I'm not looking for masterful creations. I'm just looking that you guys trust this process. Okay? Everybody clear on that? All right, cool. So the rest of this time is yours. That's about 20-ish minutes, 25 minutes to sketch out some logos. Come up with a message, sketch an idea, see if it works, see if it doesn't. And basically rinse and repeat from there. All right. I'm going to wrap up the Zoom room, process it real quick. And the rest of the time is yours. Thank you guys for listening.